Greetings from the far side of the galaxy, I'm Fuuri, your host the most who's working on a Kagurabachi video, so have this while that comes out next week. The other day, to my community page, I posted this question: what series got you into being a furry and why? And these are your responses. The first comment we have: the werewolves in Van Helsing from 2004 awakened something in me that led me to become a furry. Maybe it's just that I was born in 2001, but I have never heard of this movie. But it looks like one of those peak mid-2000s mid-movies that aren't really that good but remained really popular in the cultural zeitgeist for some reason. The werewolf designs in it are peak, and I feel like I've seen them somewhere before, but I can't remember where. Jump around, kick it, and spin, or whatever they said in that opening, it's been literal years, with the next comment. Ninjago. It was the serpentines that got me. If I wasn't one of those cringe kids who were way too into Lego when I was younger, I would have no idea who the serpentines are. Their minifigs are pretty cool though, and I mean like the actual serpentine ones, not the minifigs with the weird head. You gotta catch them all, and you gotta read the next comment. Disney was definitely a factor. Shoutouts to The Fox and the Hound and Lion King in particular. But the biggest thing was definitely Pokemon. I had loved Pokemon ever since I was a kid, having gotten into it from the very start. Then, at the ripe age of 13, they revealed Lucario for the first time, and I instantly fell in love with it. My fate as a furry was sealed, lol. If you're going to ask me, Disney had a way bigger impact on my childhood. Like seriously, I own The Fox and the Hound, Lion King, and Beauty and the Beast on physical VHS, and I still have them lying around somewhere. It's been too long since I've last watched this series to make like a clever comment about it, so I'm just moving on to the comment. Chaotic characters like Tangath, Tuborn, Gaspidan, and Chow, or Kaor? I have no fucking idea. Pretty much defined my taste in furry art for a while. This comment is a total blast from the past because I remember watching this show on 4Kids when I was like really young. I barely remember anything about it, but even back then, I knew it was just like some cheap spin-off for one of those real-life card game things. The thing that actually surprised me most is that while I was looking up stuff to remind myself what this series was, the cartoon apparently lasted all the way till 2010, which was like 4 more years than I ever expected it to. The next commentus will be about Sly Cooper in the Thievius Raccoonus. Sly Cooper games. Something happened to young me when I witnessed Carmelita Fox. The third game was my first, and I think people will figure out what part of the game. Lol. Okay, so maybe not Thievius Raccoonus, but instead Honor Among Thieves, but you know what? Whatever. Did you know that I actually own this game, but I've never played it? I owned the first game on my PS2, and I bought the entire trilogy collection on my PS Vita, but I only got around halfway through the second one. I really should get to finishing that game, and finding where my PS Vita is anyway. We're coming back home with the next comment. Morinatsu was my very first because it was pretty realistic. A decent slice of life visual novel. Also cause Torihiko is best boyfriend and I'll always love him. Other than that, it was Saturday morning cartoons. We know the ones, Extreme Dinosaurs, Street Sharks, etc. No, I don't actually know those Saturday morning cartoons. I was born in 2001. But back to the meat of the comment, Morinatsu is a visual novel I've been meaning to get to for a while, but there's like so many versions and so much just talk about it, it's hard to figure out where I should really begin. Since we're talking about visual novels, I might as well do the next comment. Nekojishi since 2019 when I saw a recommendation of the thumbnail of Lin Hugh and Liao and I watched it on YouTube. I love seeing Likulao, Yanchuchi senpai, and everyone's daddy tiger Lin Hu, uwu. It's been like 5 years since I played Nekojishi. I love my daddy tiger, uwu. Yeah, that lines up with what I think of Nekojishi. As a visual novel, it's fairly basic, like even more so than Morinatsu. A slice of life with some very non-abrasive characters who all have very appealing designs. And that's not a bad thing. It serves as a good introduction to what a furry visual novel can be, and an introduction to furries as a whole. I like Nekojishi enough that I streamed the entire game a while back, and I do look forward to the sequel, Lin and Partners, whenever that gets released. You know, this comment video is actually relatively unique compared to the other ones I've done. It's not that I don't know what you're talking about, but it's just been so long since I've last watched them that I can't really make a clever comment. Speaking of which, we have the next comment. Dragon Tales, a vast parallel world full of unique dragons that help teach valuable lessons. Quetzal was still a better teacher than most of the real-life teachers I've had. Ah, Dragon Tales. I haven't watched that in years. I haven't watched PBS in years. But Dragon Tales is still one show I super remember watching. Yet, despite the fact that I definitely remember watching Dragon Tales, I cannot tell you a goddamn thing about it. I vaguely remember something about like a magical dragon scale, and I think it was like isekai too. It's deadass been like 14 years, so give me a break. Digivolve into the next comment. I was searching through Google for cool pictures of Renamon as she was my favorite Digimon, but Google said, lo and behold, ignorant child, Taco and Oh. I got curious after that and explored the internet more, and now I'm here. Tiger. I haven't even watched Digimon, and even I know who Renamon is, or at least I'm aware of her assets, fan creations as they might be. Do you have what it takes to be the next King of the Iron Fist? The next comment certainly does. Not a series exactly, but it was Tekken. Just seeing a tiger's head on a human body just had me so curious growing up. You know, I own Tekken, but I've never really played Tekken. I bought Tekken 7 like who knows how long ago, and I've always had my eye on Tekken 8, but I've just never really had the chance to stop and actually figure out how to play it. I play fighting games on gamepad, and Tekken has always seemed like one of those things that just work better on a fight stick. And Lord knows this small-time YouTuber can't afford one of those. Are you ready to work the night shift? Because we have the next comment. What mainly made me a furry was FNAF, mostly because I found out about fursuits online and thought that was cool. After that, I got into more anthropomorphic characters from series like Pokemon and Star Fox, and now I've landed with playing Funkalicious games like Asamo and Live a Hero and enjoying anime with furries like Grimoire of Zero and Brand New Animal. You know, I never really made the connection between FNAF and fursuits, which is really weird considering in the lore you can actually put a few of them on. And if I had a nickel for every time Pokemon and Star Fox were mentioned in this video, I'd be able to actually afford that fight stick. And since we're mentioning them, I might as well throw those comments together. First one, Pokemon. As embarrassing as it is to admit, I stumbled upon some unique Pokemon fan art during my senior year of college that led me down a rabbit hole searching for more and more. Those searches led me to the larger furry fandom and other aspects of furriness in a time I didn't really know what a furry even was. I still have that fan art saved to this day as a memento. Second one, Pokemon. Some designs are already pretty furry, but scrolling around at DeviantArt at 12 AM to find Anthro Pokemon art changed my brain chemistry forever. Third one, Digimon and Pokemon, because I watched a lot of those shows in my childhood. Fourth one, it was never just one. Growing up with Disney, Pokemon, Digimon, Spyro, Klonoa, the list goes on, that I feel like it's the influence of everything and none of them. Maybe the cheetah in Spyro Dawn of the Dragon? Leomon and Growlmon? I've always been a fan of monsters and animals, anthros or otherwise, but it's only when I've hit puberty that I enjoy them. I'm stopping there because at this point I think you get the point. There was so much Pokemon on this list. And these weren't even all the comments. I left some out. I guess that's just what happens when one of the biggest children's multimedia franchises ever is all about furries. And that's where I'm ending this week's video. I know it's a little shorter than usual, but I really need to get back to working on that Kagurabachi video. It's going to be a long video and I'm not even done with the script. But of course, we still have to do our Patreon shoutouts. For 3 stars, we have special thanks to Choron, SkyKing64, 87 Werehog, Karen LaFay, Zora Chow, and Marvonla. For 4 stars, we have Miko and Utterly Awe, The Chain Coils. And for our Super D2per special 5-star shoutouts, we have first, Vanilla Flower, The Evil Seed. Second, Spidey Zack, The Stag Sovereign. Then, The Good Old Days, The Hunting Dance. Followed by Hodari Lion, the Skeletal Soldier. Thank you for watching. Do be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to check out my Ko-fi and Patreon. As always, this is your host Fuuri signing out.